practicing with our eyes a little bit, with our candles perhaps, which we'll be using all week. And in fact, we can use this for the rest of you can use this for the rest of your life if you want to. This is a legit focus. And I'm curious, particularly in that concentration part, using the eyes now to help concentration, how you find it. And I wonder if, and feel free to put things in the chat after, or we talk on Sunday, whatever. I wonder if you find moments where the gaze on the flame, which is quite easy to find, right? Flames are very different quality to probably everything else we see. And fire and humans go way, way back. And we could say that the taming of fire and the burgeoning of human civilization, even becoming fully human, they're interlinked. Fire has something really special compared to most of the rest of life, which is that it contains its own light source, its own heat. It's sort of semi-alive. And what's quite interesting as I was watching it today, this hadn't occurred to me before, and I don't think I've read it anywhere, but the other things that are very compelling to us, that have their own light source and almost a kind of life, are these, right? And we are compelled to look at these. Televisions before that, but these as well. It also makes me think of those newer billboards around town. Most billboards are a flat image, but they're those LED ones, which have their own light. And I think it triggers some pathway in our brains that responds to fire deep, deep down in there, like how we have a special part of our brain that responds to snakes. I think there's probably something in it that responds to fire, and I think it reads these as fire. This is my wild speculative theory. But as I sat there concentrating, was it a high value thought or was it masquerading as a high value thought? Stay tuned. We'll find out. Get the neuroscientists onto it. Good. Someday we'll have a crack team of neuroscientists and they'll jump when we say that, no doubt. So let's get to more of a point here. Although even that I think was sort of relevant. I wonder if as you're focusing on the flame, if that's what you're doing, or the object, if you still every so often find your gaze has drifted, not to anywhere in particular, but off the flame. And if that happens, if and when that happens, if you notice also you're involved in some thought. I notice that. I'm not as used to playing with the flame, right? Or focusing on the flame. You know, I'm used to more eyes closed, and it's wonderful, it's compelling. But every so often, I was like, I'm not looking at the flame anymore. I'm not looking at anything. I seem to be somewhere else. And part of it is like running this bus right here. Oh, what's going on over there? Oh, got to pick up a couple passengers. Came in a little bit further down the journey and all that. But nonetheless, or did you have an uninterrupted 13 minutes of focusing on that flame for that concentration? I didn't. And it was interesting because I didn't notice when I left it. The core point of today, let's get to that, just a quick one, is we use our yoga practice to learn to teach this body to learn to be still. We get in our poses, we get in poses that normally wouldn't be still. A lunge with a twist, that rarely is a place we would pause. So we teach the body to be still. And then we'll harness the eyes a little bit more subtle, and we teach the gaze to be still. You can have a still body, but you're still kind of looking around like that. And the eyes then are a little bit more subtle, but they're like an in-between step to teaching the monkeys and the thinking to be still. That's kind of where we started. We started with body and thinking. This is like a mid-level step that can be quite useful in training what stillness means. Last little thought is I find when I use the eyes like this, you know how when you pick up, especially baby mammals, rabbits or puppies, and their moms pick them up from the back of their neck with your teeth, you know? And if we hold them like that, there's this response immediately where they just soften. When the gaze fixes on that flame, there's a little subtle version of that. Yeah. So play with that as you go out. Notice your eyes. Be conscious of your eyes and where you're putting them. Generally, it's the emotions that are going to go, I want this. And so the eyes follow. And the monkeys go, I think this. And the eyes follow. So now we're taking over the eyes from both of them and we're saying, I'm going to look here.